into session. First, we will have a brief moment of reflection. Proceed to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That will bring us to communications, petitions, and awards, and we have several this evening. The first being the oath of office for Councilwoman Candice Farst.
Raise your right hand. I state your name. Solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution and will obey the laws of the United States and of the state of Ohio, that I will, in all respects, observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the city of Vandalia, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member.
All right. Congratulations, Ms. Farst. And that brings us to the oath of office. Police Officer Connor Matlock. City Manager Wendt.
Thank you very much, Your Honor, and City Council members. I will defer to Chief Althouse to give an introduction to Police Officer Connor Matlock. Please go ahead and stand up, Connor. Yep. And of course, his wife Chelsea is here. His parents and this future Vandalia police officer right here is Mason.
Well, thank you, esteemed Vice Mayor and members of council, Mr. Manager. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce our newest police officer to join the Division of Police, Mr. Connor Matlock. He reported for duty January the 5th, and he began his orientation that day, and this evening we're going to have his ceremonial swearing in. Just to give you a little background on Connor, he is a Vandalia Butler graduate, graduated from the high school here in 2013. He was serving as a police officer with the city of Dayton for 4 years prior to joining the Vandalia Division of Police. And he has also worked here previously in the city as a firefighter EMT with the Division of Fire. He and his wife Chelsea reside in Butler Township, along with their young son Mason. He's happy to be here. Chelsea's a school teacher over at Helke Elementary, so we're glad to have both of them here in our community, not just working, but also residing here in our community. So we want to welcome him tonight, along with several members of his family. We had the privilege to know them for many, many years. Had the opportunity to work with them at the sheriff's office, Cheryl and his father, Pat, Cheryl's mother and his father, Pat, so along with a number of other family members in here. So we want to welcome him today and have the city manager administer the oath of office.
I'll try not to mess this up. If I mess it up, you don't get your badge. Do you mind if we change positions? They all want to see you. They don't want to see me. Okay. Go ahead and raise your right hand. I, Connor Matlock, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and will obey the laws of the United States and of the state of Ohio, that I will in all respects observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the city of Vandalia, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of police officer. Yes, sir. Within the Division of Police. Congratulations. Welcome.
And now we'll bestow upon the honors of pinning on his badge.
Thank you.
Well, that was exciting, and we have one more announcement. A new Human Resources Manager. Mr.
Yes, sir.
Wendt.
Yes, sir. Vice Mayor, City Council members, I'm pleased to introduce in front of her family, of course, Mr. Pruszynski, Kevin, Molly, and Emma being here today to witness and celebrate Missy Pruszynski's promotion from Executive Assistant and Deputy Clerk of Council to the Human Resources Manager position. She assumed those duties last week, and we're working on the transition to backfill that position. I will tell you that when I show up really late at night sometimes, Missy Pruszynski is here working. She does whatever it takes to be successful. That I'm most impressed by her strong work ethic and her buy-in for Vandalia. And so one of the things that I repeat often is the purpose of a City of Vandalia employee is to improve quality of life for the residents of Vandalia. That's exactly what she's going to do here, and that's what she's going to do to help us build that core of public servants that we need. So congratulations to you, Missy, and look forward to your success and hard work.
Great. That brings us to comments from interested citizens. Please note that per the advice of the city attorney, anyone wishing to comment needs to personally be at the meeting, so we will not be able to take comments from those participating electronically through Zoom. Is there anyone present who wishes to speak and address council?
Mr. Vice Mayor, just for one moment, we have a whole bunch of family members here, and we're going to do really interesting, fun local government stuff. But if you get up and walk out and don't want to stay here until 8, we totally understand. And so that's not rude.
In other words, this is a good time to leave if you don't want to stay.
Thank you so much for coming.
Cute little boy.
Yeah.
Your family's hanging out?
Wow, impressive.
Apparently, nobody wishes to speak. That will bring us to the city manager's report. Mr. Wendt?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. There will be a joint meeting between the city, township, and the school district. Of course, the three entities that make up our community as local government-wise. That will take place on Monday, January 31st at 5:30 p.m. It'll be held at the Butler Township Town Hall at 3780 Little York Road. We'll follow social distancing protocols, and of course, that meeting will be open to the public. We haven't composed, to my knowledge, an agenda at this point, but if there is something that anyone would like to include on the agenda, please send that to my direction, and I'll ensure that it is.
Very good. Thank you.
The other item, and I just want to make sure, IT Manager Davey and Mrs. Pruszynski are going to present just briefly to you. We did an update to Granicus, which we've been using on the backside for our agenda management software. One of the things that is really nice about this upgrade is the ability to click on a piece of legislation and have it indexed to the video of that, what was going on in the council meeting. And so we think this is really helpful for the city's, one of the city's policy goals, which is the transparency related. So we'll leave it to him to show us.
Thank you, Council. Yeah, as
city manager mentioned last year, we started this project and we are finally getting everything lined up for our website. So if citizens would like to see our agenda or see a video from a council meeting, they can go to our website and simply at the end of it, just type in either minutes or agendas, and it will pull up the website here. So we'll just type in agendas. And you can also get to it from the menu. From the menu, they can go to government, and then right here under agendas and minutes is the same information. On this site, we have all the different boards and commissions with their agendas as well. But for the purpose of this presentation, we're talking about council agendas. And anything prior to 22 will be listed under the Agenda Center, which is our old system. And then the new ones will be under the, right now, we'll call it the new agenda site, but that'll eventually get changed to a different name. Here we have a list of upcoming events. And one thing here you can see is that the city council meeting is in progress. And you can actually watch this live from home. So we could potentially get rid of Zoom and use a streaming solution as well from the website. And then here would be the agenda for tonight's meeting, and then you can click View. And then for past meetings, this is the exciting part, if IT guys can get excited. Here we have the agenda like before, so this would be from January 3rd. If we click on the video, it will bring us to a screen here that has the recording above, and then down below will be, and this is kind of squished on this screen, but for each item, if they would like to see the Castle Hills extension plat, they can click on that, and that will take them directly to that position in the video. So whatever it is they would like to look at, you can click on it, and it'll skip you ahead to that portion of the video. We think this will be really helpful for folks that might have things they're trying to pay attention to on the website or council meetings, and they can go directly to that without having to search through the video. So that's basically what we're looking to do moving forward. Again, as we populate this, they'll start showing up here below, and we could potentially use this for other types of boards of zoning, things like that, but right now we're focusing on city council. Are there any questions?
When do the
about that?
agendas go up?
Generally, the Friday before the Monday council
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah, and they'll show up under the section at the top that says upcoming events.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, no. Exciting.
Super.
Excellent, thank you.
So that'll be very helpful.
Yeah.
That brings us to resolutions, and we'll begin with 22R03. Ms. Wall, would you read the resolution by title only?
A resolution authorizing the purchase of 10 sets of Lion Apparel fire protective clothing requested by the Division of Fire from Phoenix Safety Outfitters at a price of $33,774.
Thank you. Mr. Wendt?
Thank you, Your Honor. The Division of Fire has a multi-year firefighter total replacement protective clothing program built into the capital budget. The goal of the replacement program is to replace 10 sets of protective clothing per year. $50,000 is budgeted in 2022 for the replacement of 10 sets of firefighter protective clothing. Chief Follick is requesting that City Council waive formal bidding and allow the division to purchase firefighter protective clothing from Phoenix Outfitters, an authorized Lion apparel dealer and Vandalia company, as a sole source provider at a total cost of $33,774.
Very good. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 22R03.
Second.
Are there any comments from council?
I believe that
Go ahead.
we get never mind. I answered my own question.
Ms. Wall, will you read the roll?
Councilwoman Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follick,
Yes.
Councilmember Farst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Next, we have Resolution 22R-04. Ms. Wall?
A resolution awarding the bid for 3 police patrol vehicles requested by the Division of Police to Bo Townsend Ford in the amount of $130,350 as the lowest and best bid, and declaring 2 existing police patrol vehicles being replaced surplus property.
Very good. Mr. Wendt?
Thank you, Your Honor. The Vandalia Police Division is seeking to purchase 3 new marked patrol vehicles to replace aging patrol vehicles. Bids for marked patrol vehicles were posted on the Daily Court Reporter, and bid packets were delivered to a variety of dealerships. The city also posted bid specifications on the city website. At the last meeting, there was some discussion about the price that was submitted by Bo Townsend Ford in comparison to the newly released state bid price. Bo Townsend, in consideration of the upfit and appurtenances that go onto a police cruiser, with all things equal, we believe that price to be 1.8% above the state bid price for the marked vehicle. Chief Althouse has outlined several reasons, mainly the distance to the dealership, should there need to be adjustments or warranty type of services that make it advantageous for the city to purchase these cruisers locally. And the amount authorized in this is the original bid amount. However, I suspect that we will be billed somewhat lower than that based on a recent conversation.
Very good. May I have a motion?
Move that we approve Resolution 22R-04.
Second.
Very good. Comments from council? Ms. Wall, will you read the roll? Call the roll.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follick,
Yes.
Councilmember Farst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Resolution 22R-05. Ms. Wall?
A resolution awarding the bid for 1 unmarked sport utility vehicle requested by the Division of Police to Bo Townsend Ford in the amount of $46,440 as the lowest and best bid.
Mr. Wendt?
Your Honor, VPD is seeking to purchase 1 unmarked sport utility vehicle for police administration. Bids for an unmarked SUV were posted in the Daily Court Reporter, and bid packets were delivered to a variety of dealerships. The specifications for the bid were posted on the city's website. 1 bid packet was received and opened on December 16th. Bo Townsend Ford offers a 2022 Ford Interceptor utility all-wheel drive vehicle for the price that Ms. Wall listed. In consideration, in comparison to the state bid price, that is 1.7% or $748 above what the city would spend otherwise, and therefore I recommend that the purchase be made from Bo Townsend.
Very good. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 22R-05 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments? Seeing none, Ms. Wall, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Follick,
Yes.
Councilmember Farst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Resolution 22R-05. Ms. Wall?
A resolution authorizing the purchase for 10 flock safety cameras with installation costs requested by the Division of Police from Flock Safety in the amount of $30,000.
Very good. Mr. Wendt.
Thank you, Your Honor. Flock safety devices capture objective evidence and utilize machine learning to create and to deliver unbiased investigative leads to law enforcement. A significant number of crimes occur with the vehicle involvement, and obtaining a license plate is often very useful evidence for solving a crime. Flock safety devices provide leads and alert officers when vehicles involved in criminal activity pass any location where a device is deployed. The 2022 budget includes $30,000 to install 10 flock safety devices at an annual cost of $2,500 per device, plus a $500 one-time installation fee. Flock Safety is the sole source provider of such a safety system, and therefore I request that City Council waive competitive bidding and authorize the city to enter into a contractual agreement with Flock Safety for the installation and utilization of the safety equipment and software.
Very good. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve Resolution 22-R-06 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Follick and a second from Mr. Blakesley. Are there any comments from council? Seeing none, the roll, Ms. Wall.
Councilmember Farst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follick,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. And that will bring us to Resolution 22-R-07. Ms. Wall.
A resolution declaring a moratorium on acceptance, consideration, and/or granting of any applications for zoning regarding the manufacturing and/or sale of 1.3G and 1.4G fireworks.
Mr. Wendt.
Thank you, Your Honor. In November 2021, the state of Ohio enacted House Bill 172, which makes changes to the sale and the use of fireworks. When House Bill 172 becomes effective on July 1st, 2022, it will make the use of 1.4G fireworks, commonly referred to as consumer fireworks, legal on permitted dates. Those are listed, those holidays. Some of those consumer products include firecrackers, bottle rockets, Roman candles, and fountains. There's significant concern within the Department of Public Safety for what this might do in Vandalia and the need for runs and then also just criminal activity associated with this. Prior to the passage of House Bill 172, consumers could purchase these fireworks, but were not permitted to discharge them. The passage of House Bill 172 means that they'll be able to discharge those, and then they may be used within town. And so we're asking for this moratorium to consider a recommendation, modifications perhaps to the zoning code, and take those and pursue those actions to stop the sale of fireworks within Vandalia.
Very good. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve Resolution 22-R-07 as read.
Second? Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Blakesley and a second by Councilwoman Farst. Are there any comments? I would only comment that I think it's a wise move to put in the moratorium, and it'll give us a chance to craft legislation for or against, but it'll give us time, a little bit more time to study our legislation and our ordinance as opposed to the state. I think that's a good idea. With that said, Ms. Wall, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follick,
Yes.
Councilmember Farst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Well, we have no ordinances this evening in its first reading, and that brings us to ordinances in the second reading. That will bring us to 2201. Ms. Wall?
An ordinance vacating unnecessary right-of-way to the abutting landowner and maintaining all easements therein.
Mr. Wendt?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Contegra Construction has submitted a petition and vacation plat to vacate right-of-way on Top Notch Court in the Northwoods Business Park. The vacation of this right-of-way would accommodate the proposed development on the 35-acre site. The developer would be responsible for abandoning or relocating any and all utilities within the existing right-of-way before developing the property.
Very good. This is a reading in its second reading, and that requires a public hearing. Anyone who'd like to speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, do I have a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 22-01 in the second reading.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Ehlers and a second by Mr. Blakesley. Any comments from council? Seeing none, Ms. Wall?
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilmember Follick.
Yes.
Councilmember Farst.
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. We have an ordinance then as an emergency, 22-02. Ms. Wall?
An ordinance approving individual assessments, an ordinance approving individual assessment amounts and directing the finance director or her designee to certify the amounts to the county auditor for collection and declaring an emergency.
Any additional comments, Mr. Wendt?
Nobody can say it better than that, Your Honor.
Very good. Since this is an emergency ordinance, it requires a public hearing. Anyone here would like to speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, may I have a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 2202 as an emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Farst and a second by Councilman Follick. Any comments from council? Ms. Wall, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilmember Follick.
Yes.
Councilmember Farst.
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. We have another ordinance, 22-03, as an emergency.
An ordinance authorizing an amendment to the city manager contract and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Wendt, do you have any comments?
No, Your Honor.
Seeing none, may I have a motion?
Public hearing.
Oh, thank you.
Sure. That's why I'm here.
We have, this requires a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. And seeing none, now I will call for a motion.
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 22-03 as an emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Blakesley and a second by Councilman Ehlers. Do I have any comments from council? Seeing none, Ms. Wall, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Follick.
Yes.
Councilmember Farst.
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0.
You're sweating.
Yeah, I was sweating a little bit. Thank you.
That will bring us to the reports from boards and commissions.
Yes.
And number one, the first issue here is the conditional use at 22 Ranch View Drive. Mr. Wendt?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Honor. The applicant, Rick Turner, has submitted an application requesting a conditional use permit to allow the use of a fuel station on the property located at 22 Ranchview Drive in the downtown business zoning district. The proposal is to raise the existing fuel station and amenities to make way for the construction of a new fuel station with a modern ancillary C-store canopy and 4 fuel dispensers. The Planning Commission voted 4-0 in approval, recommending approval of the requested conditional use permit to allow the fuel station use within the downtown zoning business district with the following conditions. 1, complete to a minimum 75% opacity landscape screening between adjacent residential properties and the fuel station property. Complete landscape screening of the vehicular use area from the public right-of-way. Number 3, privacy fencing between the C-store and the residential properties. Number 4, the base of both freestanding signs are clad in brick or stone. And 5, a replat of parcels into a single parcel. And I'm also recommending approval of this conditional use.
Very good. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve the conditional use at 22 Ranchview Drive with the 5 conditions of the Planning Commission.
Very good.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Follick and a second by Councilman Blakesley. Do I have any comments from council? Seeing none, Ms. Wall, will you read the roll? Call the roll.
Councilmember Farst.
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilmember Follick.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Brings us to a variance of fuel pump to residential line, 22 Ranchview Drive. Mr. Wendt?
The applicant, Rick Turner, on behalf of True North Energy LLC, the property owner, has requested a variance to allow for fuel pumps within 200 feet of the residential line. The existing fuel pumps are approximately 65 feet from the residential line, and the proposal is to construct the fuel pumps 70 feet from the line. The applicant, in their letter of justification, states that the facility is in need of substantial upgrades, and it is believed with the enhancements to the C-store, elimination of the car wash and curb cuts, and refreshed and enhanced landscaping, that the neighborhood would benefit from the overall character improvement. The Board of Zoning Appeals voted 3-0 to recommend approval of the requested variance to allow fuel pumps within 200 feet of a residential lot line as proposed within the site plan proposal.
Very
There's
good.
There's another one after this. 2.
2 more.
May I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve the variance, the fuel pump to residential line at 22 Ranchview Drive.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Follick and a second by Councilman Ehlers. Are there any comments from council? Seeing none, Ms. Wall, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Ehlers.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilmember Follick.
Yes.
Councilmember Farst.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Brings us to a variance, a maximum front setback, the DB zoning district, 22 Ranchview Drive. Mr. Wendt.
The applicant, Rick Turner, on behalf of True North Energy LLC, has requested a variance to allow greater setback than 30 feet from the back of the sidewalk. The proposal is to construct a fuel station approximately 46 feet from the front of the sidewalk on the access drive to the north and approximately 120 feet from the property line on Ranchview Drive. The existing C-store is approximately 60 feet from the back of the sidewalk on the access drive and approximately 80 feet from the back of the sidewalk along Riverview Drive. The variance being requested is for both frontages. the Board of Zoning Appeals voted 3-0 to recommend approval of the requesting variance.
Thank you.
Yes.
May I have a motion?
I move that we approve the variance from the maximum front setback in the zoning district on 22 Ranch View Drive.
With one condition. With one condition? You didn't mention.
Yeah, my apologies, that's with it's presented in front of you with one condition.
Okay.
Yep.
I include that condition.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Ayers and a second by Councilman Blakesley. Are there any comments from council? Seeing none, Ms. Wall, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follick,
Yes.
Councilmember Farst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. And if I can turn the page. We have a variance, minimum setback for fuel stations at 22 Ranch View Drive. Mr. Wendt.
The request for this variance is to allow a setback of less than 50 feet from the right-of-way line. The proposal is to construct a fuel station approximately 46 feet from the front of the sidewalk on the access drive to the north. The existing C-store is approximately 60 feet from the back of the sidewalk on the access drive. The variance being requested is for the front setback to the north. The Board of Zoning Appeals voted 3-0 to recommend approval of the requested variance to allow for a 46-foot, 3-inch setback on the northern side of the property.
Very good. May I have a motion?
I move that we approve the variance for the minimum setback for the fuel station at 22 Ranch View Drive.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Farst and a second by Councilman Follick. Are there any questions or comments by council? Seeing none, Ms. Wall, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follick,
Yes.
Councilmember Farst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Well, that brings us to a bill listing report. Bill listing of $3,214,321.19. A list of December expenses over $50,000 and December purchase car detail in the amount of $39,790. Do we have any comments on this item? Seeing none, that will bring us to council comments. We'll begin with Ms. Wall.
Nothing from the law director.
Very good. Mr. Wendt?
Your Honor, I'd just like to compliment our Public Works crews for their work with the recent snow event, but also the 3 water main breaks that we had last week in the absence of our recently retired Public Works Superintendent, Steve Nichols. Supervisors Dwayne Hopkins and Mike Bussey have really stepped up and exhibited excellent leadership. And I know that, of course, Public Service Director Rob Cron is putting in a lot of extra work and as we conduct that recruitment. Chief Building Official Ted Baker is retiring at the end of the week. I'm not sure whether there might be a modification to his going away event that we're going to hold in the DES conference room. And I will update you if there are any changes than what was listed in the blue letter. The final thought that I'd like to share with you is many of you know that my oldest son had open heart surgery when he was a couple of days old. And I can remember worrying that I was going to lose him. And I'm walking down the hallway at Children's Hospital in University of Michigan. And I say to the surgeon, "Thank you so much for working on my son." And he turned back to me and he said, you know, it really is just a privilege. And that's how I feel about this job. It's a privilege to be here working for you and helping you do what you want to do for Vandalia. And so thank you for your endorsement in me and my family.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Woods.
Yes, I was afforded the opportunity to meet with one of our residents this past week who had expressed his vehement displeasure with our vote at the last meeting. And I just want to say that we were able to come to a meeting of the minds, and many times, I think we all want the same results for the city. It's just about how we get there can be on different paths. And I think having a conversation about those things are something that I welcome, and I'm sure the other council members feel that way too, that we're always open to hear people's voices. And I just want to say that I express that as a privilege.
Thank you. Councilman Ayers.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilman Follick.
Thank you. A few things real quick. First, congratulations to Councilwoman Woods on her being awarded the CPA of the Year for 2021 by, I believe this is correct, Money Concepts, Wealth Management, and Financial Planners.
Got it right. Thank you.
So congratulations on that honor. As Mr. Wendt had said, just congratulations to Mr. Baker on his retirement from the city later this week. He's been with the city for just over 33 years, and I think it was, I believe, in a blue letter or somewhere along the line that, when you think about all the positions in the city, his is one that touches basically every new building or building that's torn down in the city. So he's got his fingerprint on a lot of things throughout town over the past several decades. So congratulations to him and best of luck in his retirement. And then also congratulations to 3 members of the fire division, Scott Jacobs, who's the community risk reduction coordinator, firefighter paramedic Maya Mitchell, and firefighter paramedic Matt Bucher. All 3 were awarded the 2021 Firefighter of the Year recognition by the Montgomery County Fire Chiefs Association this past weekend. And that was for their involvement in getting the mobile vaccination team established and serving the residents through the COVID-19 pandemic. So congratulations to those 3 employees. And finally, tonight, a couple condolences. The first is to retired Police Lieutenant Charlie Rebelli. Charlie retired several years ago, and the passing of his wife, Ann. Ann was also a retiree of the city. She served the city for 30 years as a public safety dispatcher from 1969 to 1999. Ann is one of 2 people who trained me in the dispatch center back in the mid-1990s, and was a very, very special lady. And then she continued to work for the city even after her retirement from the police division for another, I think, 15 years at the municipal court as a part-time employee. So she passed away last Friday after a short battle with cancer. And so condolences to Charlie and his family and the colleagues from the police division that worked with Ann over the years. And then lastly, another condolences to our longtime and retired finance director, Bill Hoffman. Bill's wife, Dee, which most people know, passed away on Saturday night, Sunday morning, after a long and hard-fought battle with cancer. So condolences to Mr. Hoffman and his family, who are, most of them are well-known throughout the community as well. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Farst.
Well, I want to congratulate Dan. We've had an exciting year. Glad you're here. Glad you're staying here. Glad we're working to keep you here. So also congratulations to Officer Connor Matlock. It's great to see new police officers come on board. And most of all, congratulations to Missy Pruszynski. I don't know how that's going to alter up there, how everything works. I think I'll be kind of terrified that you're not in that chair when I come in, but I'm sure it'll it'll work very smoothly, and you'll have a lot to do. But thanks, I'm glad you're on board in that position, so, and that's all. Thank you.
Councilman Blakesley.
Well, first order, excuse Mayor Herbst from all meetings tonight. I'll make a motion.
So we have to second that and vote on it?
I
Yes.
believe so. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
And then additionally, I would like, oh, yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
We're done. Additionally, echo Councilman Follick, what he talked about with Montgomery County Firefighters of the Year, having also been having that award, feel honored to be among those. You know, that's quite a creative program that they came up with, and really proud of their accomplishments. And speaking of proud, you know, of all we have so many employees that get quite a few awards. And if we were to take all those awards and put them on a wall, we need a building because we wouldn't have enough wall space. And that's the kind of dedication that we have of our employees. And as you said, you know, it's a privilege to have everybody working for us. And we think of dedication, right here to my left. Well, your award, congratulations. And I'm with Candice that, you know, we're going to miss you up here and at that window, but congratulations and well-deserving to you, you know, next step in your career. And I'm sure family's very proud, and we're proud of you as well. Congratulations, Ted Baker. I kind of cringe when I hear him say he was retiring. I always saw that day coming, but really didn't want to see that day coming, but I know it's owed to him. I've known Ted since 1988, worked with him over the years. In fact, he came on with the city with Peter Lentz, who was the CBO at the time. And so I've known Ted for quite some time, so he'll have some big shoes to fill. And I think Pete's going to be a good one to help transition. That's about all I have then.
Very good, or very well. And that brings us to the vice mayor, and you've all been very eloquent. I wanted to personally thank Mrs. Pruszynski over the last number of years for many good and bad reasons. It seems like we're always very pressed for time or trying to cram information, and Mrs. Pruszynski has always been well-prepared and a very big help. And I'm sorry to see her promoted, but I'm happy for her. I think it's a wonderful thing, and it's very, very good for her, I'm sure, her family and the city. And so I want to thank you. And to Ted Baker. Ted, it always seemed like he had his hand in something throughout the city, and when we had, a grand opening of some sort, a business or whatever, Ted would show up and be there. I think his support role related to the whole city, I think, was much bigger than just his role as a building official. And with that said, we will conclude.